Led out onto the field by the second-year quarterback out of Florida State, Christian Ponder.
And a lot of talk about Christian Ponder this week up here in Minnesota. How is he going to bounce back from that loss to Green Bay? I liked everything he said. You know, he made some bad decisions, especially on first and second down. You know, those are some downs where you can kind of throw the ball away, play a little bit smarter. We'll see how he plays this afternoon, bouncing back.
Vikings without Percy Harvin, the leading receiver, placed on injured reserve this past week. On first down, it's Adrian Peterson, who ran for 210 against Green Bay last Sunday, and Peterson stays in bounds and is finally tackled inside the Chicago 30 by Lance Briggs, a 52-yard run on the first play from scrimmage by Adrian Peterson.
And we'll see how often Minnesota decides to attack Chicago right in this area. There's your two new guys in the lineup because Brian Urlacher is out. Do they focus onto the right side of their offensive line and try and get some mismatches? And I tell you what, over the last 6 weeks, this guy has been absolutely phenomenal. They cannot waste the efforts that he is putting forth in the running game.
9 guys in the box in that last run, Bruce.
From the Bears, 29, it's Peterson again, brings the tackle, so he follows up a long run by gaining just 1. On first down, Vikings offense ranked 22nd. These 5 on the offensive line, they've started every game.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they're playing so well in the running game. They're doing a nice job in pass protection. The issue is they're not taking advantage, like Tony said, of all of the threats that they pose to the defense and what you have to do to commit to stop Adrian. There should be plays down the field, and those receivers have to step up and make them today.
It's Peterson again. 3 plays, 3 Adrian Peterson runs. He's swallowed up at the 27-yard line. Bears defense ranked 5th, but as we mentioned, without a couple of key guys today.
Yeah, a lot of changes. Nate Collins is in for Stephen Paya. He's been playing well this year. He's been banged up. They're going to set him down. He's inactive today. But your big one is right there in the middle. Brian Urlacher. His experience, his knowledge, his ability to follow plays during the course of the game. And Calvin Hayden gets to start for Tim Jennings. Tim Jennings leads the NFL in takeaways, and that's what this defense does best.
Ponder on 3rd and 8. Checks it down, and Michael Jenkins picks up a Vikings first down, gain of 11. So Ponder hits a wide receiver early last Sunday. No completions to a wideout the first 57 minutes.
Well, the big thing about Chicago is you know where they're going to be defensively. A little slip right there by Lance Briggs. That allows that little void to be in that zone defense. You know where to go. Now it's just execution. Can you execute against this Bears defense?
Vikings in the red zone. They have 3 tight ends on the field. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. The handoff to Peterson. He's inside the 10, the 5, and he is wrestled out of bounds inside the 2. Peterson gains 15 more.
You've got to pay attention to formation at the snap of the ball. They out-leveraged Chicago. Look at this. They got 5 guys to their left side. That affects gap control. Chicago is a gap control defense, a 1-gap defense. That means every defender is responsible for 1 gap, and they overloaded that side of the ball and messed up their gap count.
Yep, easiest block on offense for an offensive lineman is a down block. When you're out leveraged, that's what happens. They get out on a perimeter.
1st and goal from the 1 as Peterson takes it in for a Vikings touchdown. So Jay Cutler and the Bears offense take the field trailing by 7.
And he was on fire the last time these two teams played. Tremendous confidence in his ability to put a ball into a small window. The Minnesota Vikings covered Brandon Marshall well, but Cutler and Marshall were in such a zone, and there's so much confidence between the two. They made some great throw catches in that game.
12 receptions for Marshall against the Vikings 2 weeks ago. Bears start from their own 17-yard line. 3 receivers set. Cutler looking to throw on first down over the middle, and it's broken up by Jasper Brinkley.
And the big challenge for the Bears this year, when we talk about the running game not in sync, Jay Cutler getting roughed up in the pocket, there's been a lot of change on this offensive line. One of the things that Mike Tice, he will help Jamarcus Webb all afternoon. The backs, the tight ends, they will always chip to the left side. Alshon Jeffrey gets the start at wide receiver. I think he's a key part to this passing game, taking the next step. He's been in and out of the lineup during the course of the year because of injuries. When he's in there, it's a different passing attack.
Devin Hester in the slot. Second and 10. Cutler quick out to Hester, who returns. Missed last week's game with a concussion suffered against the Vikings 2 weeks ago. And Hester looks to have a first down.
This Minnesota Vikings team is 5-1 at home this season, and I think it is a great home field advantage, especially for this group right here. Jared Allen gets that extra tick coming off that ball. This crowd gets loud. They're going to have to challenge that Bears offensive line. Enjoyed talking with Harrison Smith during the course of the weekend. One of the good young players in the NFL today. A much under-respected secondary for the Minnesota Vikings.
Smith, a first-round pick out of Notre Dame, and Forte is bottled up loosely yarded. It's Jared Allen with the tackle for a loss of a yard.
We talk about him in the sack game, but he's just as good against the run because he's an upfield penetrating type defensive lineman. You could see the trap was coming from the Bears. You're pulling a guy, you want to kick Jared Allen out, get up inside of him, but he's so quick, he beats that trap block.
Yeah, he does a nice job of keeping his eyes inside on the ball carrier, but knowing that that pull is coming.
Hester in the slot to the left. On second down 11, Cutler hands it off. Forte finds a hole, and that is brought down at the 33-yard line by Smith. Forte gains 7, setting up third down and 4. Vikings scored on their opening drive, lead the Bears 7-0. Third down and 4, Chicago. Bears must get to the 37 for a first down as Cutler throws. It's picked off. Intercepted by Josh Robinson. And Robinson is inside the 20, the 10. The question is, did he stay in bounds? He did. Touchdown.
After reviewing the play, the runner's left foot stepped out of bounds at the 5.5-yard line. Will be first and goal at the 5.5. Please reset the clock to 9:49, please. 9:49.
On first down, it's Peterson. Major Wright comes up to make the tackle. Gain of 3.
It's one of those situations that they were not going to be too excited about, is a gaping hole, and Adrian Peterson coming through that really kind of untouched, and Major Wright and Chris Conte both with safety support happened to come up and make that tackle on Adrian Peterson.
Saw the numbers on Peterson. There's Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator. 72 yards on the ground. We have not yet played 6 minutes. 2 tight ends set. The pitch to Peterson on second and goal. Hard to bring him down, and Bears finally do just that at the 1-yard line.
Looks like Henry Melton got a little banged up on that last play. Yeah, Melton's down.
From the Bears' 1-yard line following a Chicago turnover. Peterson, he's in. Touchdown. His second of the quarter. Bears have run only 5 offensive plays. They trail 14-0. From the 11, play action on first down. Cutler with time. And the pass out to the 20-yard line is incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Kellen Davis.
Time for this offense to step up. You know, obviously, this is a different Bears defense this afternoon without Brian Urlacher, without Tim Jennings. They have carried this team to this 8-4 record. It's time for Jay and his guys on that side of the ball to step up and take some pressure off that defense and get this team headed in the right direction this afternoon.
The offense ranked 30th in the league despite great chemistry and the terrific numbers put up by Cutler and Marshall over the first 12 games. Cutler, of course, missed one, pass deflected, and then nearly picked off by Antoine Winfield. Fred Evans got a piece of it.
And his intimidation also, Darryl. One thing Jay Cutler can't do here is try to force something and get another turnover. If it's not there, he needs to get rid of this ball and just punt the ball.
Cutler on 3rd down and 10, takes off. Let's get to the 21. And he does pick up the Bears' first down.
We've said it all along. You can say what you want about Jay Cutler, but you can't question his toughness. This is a guy, you know, he had a concussion a couple weeks ago. You know, here it is, a critical part in the game. 3rd and long, you're backed up. All the momentum is with Minnesota. You can't come out and punt again. And look at the effort here to get the first down.
He knows what he has to do to get this offense going. He needs a little momentum, and that's called a leader right there.
So as the leader on the defensive side, Urlacher watching from the sidelines. Cutler gains 11. Matt Forte follows it up with a 4-yard run as we head to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, after the Redskins, RG3 hooked up with Josh Morgan for a 7-0 lead. Joe Flacco and the Ravens answered back. Anquan Bolden, 19-yard score. We're all tied at 7 in the first quarter. Getting moves goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Redskins have won their last 3. All over division rivals. 2nd down and 6. Cutler out of the shotgun, swings it out to Devin Hester. Looks to put on a move and then is forced out of bounds by Winfield after a short gain of just 1.
Yeah, you know, I think that this is a good position for Devin Hester to go to. I think that his skill set working out of here, out of the slot, in the plays that you can create with his ability as a returner, this is where you can take advantage of that. As a starting wideout on the outside, that Z position, the spot opposite the tight end, I think it's a difficult spot for him. It takes a lot of time to develop that. And I think that Devin Hester, with now Alshon Jeffrey stepping in, moving into the slot, that's 3 dynamic players on the outside for Chicago.
3rd down and 5. Forte out of the backfield, and a beautiful tackle is made by the 3-time Pro Bowler Antoine Winfield as Forte loses a yard. Peterson with 74 yards and 2 Viking touchdowns. Minnesota starts this drive from their 16-yard line on the slant. It is Jerome Simpson who picks up 13 yards and a Vikings first down.
I want you to see what Chicago's doing. This is the respect that Tony talked about with Adrian Peterson. There are 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. Play action pass, come out, throw the ball. There has to be plays to be made in the play action game.
Problem for Chicago, they got 9 guys in the box and they're still not stopping.
From the 29 on first down, it's Peterson. Takes it out across the 30. What a remarkable return it has been from surgery last December for Adrian Peterson.
And here this just shows you the confidence that he's gaining. You know, you get into the month of September, he wanted to be back for the start of the year, but just look how he's gotten better each month. And then look what he did last week, the first week of December against Green Bay at 210. So he is becoming more and more dangerous. You know, that running back that gets stronger by quarter, stronger by month during the course of the year.
For the season, he's averaging over 6 yards per carry. Ponder in trouble. Down he goes. Football is loose. But the whistle was blown. Ponder was ruled down before the ball came out.
And that's not reviewable. Once forward progress is ruled, you can't rule fumbles, so the tuck rule, none of that comes into play. Once you go forward, progress has been stopped. The fumble is not reviewable.
Corey Woot now with 5.5 sacks. Viking fans may remember Woot sack of Brett Favre 2 seasons ago, last play of Favre's career. 3rd down and 22. keep it on the ground. And we'll punt it away. The first quarter touchdowns. James Brown in at left guard for Edwin Williams. As Cutler goes to his right. Now he fires downfield. And the pass is incomplete. Cutler was hit right after he let loose.
Yeah, right as he let go of the ball, Christian Ballard continuing to work. And this is one of the things that Mike Tice wanted to do. Play action, get out on that naked boot. And this is where they're going to take their shot down the field. Brandon Marshall working from the slot. Double moves. If you're going to have a double move, it's going to take you some time, so you extend it. But there's Harrison Smith. That's your job as safety. Nobody gets beyond you.
Marshall second in the league with 91 receptions. Michael Bush in the backfield takes the toss from Cutler on 2nd and 10 with Jamarcus Webb leading the way as Bush crosses midfield into Vikings territory. His first carry today, the former Raider gains 7.
And just would expect more production from the run game of Chicago when you talk about Matt Forte and Michael Bush as a 1-2 combination. But it's really been those guys up front. It's been a challenge for Chicago all season long with that offensive line. Some of the same issues that they faced last year, a guy here, a guy there, they got that all sorted out. I talked to Roberto Garza before the game, and he said, you know, here we are in December, and we're still having that one single breakdown that's preventing our big running plays from clicking.
3rd down and 3. The fake toss to Forte, and then Cutler throws over the middle, and it is Marshall for a Bears first down, his first reception today, and Brandon gains 12.
Nice play action on this one, Bruce.
Yeah, really good ball faking right here by Jay Cutler. A lot of stuff for the defense to process. But again, Brandon Marshall, I mean, just a good feel, being able to find that soft spot in that zone.
Marshall now
sits down right there.
Well, Marshall now split out to the left, Goose. Weems to the right. 2 tight ends from the 36-yard line. Cutler hands it off, and Forte is bottled up. Gains just 1.
You know, Moose, you talked about the run game. The thing that I'm seeing from the Chicago team over the past few weeks is in the middle of this offensive line, you don't get a lot of push. These guys don't get a lot of movement to that secondary, that second level to the linebackers, and it really restricts them from running that inside game. Most of the games that they're running or run plays is to the outside, which gives those linebackers plenty of angles. So that's the problem, I think, with their run game. They need to run more inside to get more push.
2nd down and 9. As Cutler throws, and the pass is off the mark, intended for tight end Kellen Davis. Jasper Brinkley on the coverage.
Jasper Brinkley in coverage working against Kellen Davis, big tight end right here. He's going to kind of work up. You're going to try and get a little bit of separation right there. You know, he's got to move. He can't just post that guy up. He's not a basketball player down in the paint. You know, football is about getting separation, so your quarterback has the confidence to throw you the ball. You can go up and initiate contact, but then Kellen Davis has got to separate from the defender.
3rd down and 9, empty backfield. Here comes the pressure. Cutler throws, and it's incomplete. So now, what will the Bears do with the left calf strain suffered by Robbie Gould?
You want to talk about a guy who's driven? I mean, he accepted blame last week. He goes, I could have done more. I could have done more in the running game, so we could have beaten the Green Bay Packers last week. I didn't see it. I don't know if he could have done anything.
Here's Peterson on 1st down. Cuts to the outside. And is forced out of bounds by Chris Conti after picking up 14 yards out of Minnesota first.
Moose, how about these cuts this guy is making? Adrian Peterson over and over. Take a look at this. Gets the ball, cut to the outside. Upfield, another cut to the outside. But never stops or slows down when he has the ball in his hands. Nice job, ball security, a little stiff arm right there to finish it off. I mean, he is running like a beast.
Urlacher can only watch. 89 yards on the ground for Peterson. Adds to his total right here as he is finally brought down at the 37. Peterson gains 14 more.
125. 125. Okay, two kills. Left.
Bonner changed the play on 2nd and 10. It's Peterson. to right. Makes the tackle. Check in on the Redskins and Ravens with Kurt.
Well, because RG3 has played so well, people have forgotten about the rookie Alfred Morris and how well he has played this season. This is 7th rushing touchdown. He came in the league, 3rd leading rusher in the league, came into this game, and that one put him up 14-7. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Alfred Morris, 6th round pick. Redskins remain hot. They won 3 in a row, lead 14-7. 2 road games, and then they'll finish it up with Dallas. Ponder being chased by Julius Peppers. Out of bounds at the 34, about 4 yards shy of the marker, so the Vikings send out the punting unit. Bears tied for the division lead with Packers, turned it over on their first drive and then followed it up with a pair of punts.
Yeah, we've challenged this offense. It's their turn to kind of carry the burden for the Chicago Bears team off to a slow start with those first 3 possessions.
And they start from their own 3-yard line following the punt and roll at Forte. Takes it out to the 5.
We just don't see the explosive runs that we saw from Matt Forte last season. And it's got to be an element for this offense. You know, for forever. I mean, you think of the Bears and you think of great defense, great special teams, and a tough running game. And that running game hasn't been there this season on a consistent basis.
Bears with only 3 first downs today. Cutler just 4 of 11 in the air. On 2nd and 8, Cutler going deep for Marshall. And Brandon Marshall goes up and makes a spectacular catch at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to trust a guy, and Brandon Marshall has earned the trust of Jay Cutler. Watch the coverage. A.J. Jefferson and Harrison Smith. It's double teamed in a jump ball situation, and Brandon Marshall wins.
Does a nice job of getting his head around and identifying that it's a short ball, stopping his body, coming back, and making the catch.
Yeah, Harrison Smith did the opposite, Tony. He did not get his head around and track that ball coming in.
A 39-yard completion from Cutler to Marshall. From the 44, the delay to Forte. He's into Vikings territory. And picks up a Bears first down.
Isn't it funny, Tony, how when that first person makes that play, we just watched what the Bears have done in those first 3 possessions. You get the big shot down the field to Brandon Marshall, and all of a sudden, everything starts to work. Yeah, it's unbelievable when that first person steps up and makes that play.
Big plays are contagious.
39-yard completion to Marshall, and then Forte gains 15, his longest run of the game. From the Minnesota 41 on first down. Cutler steps up and throws it complete. It was short, intended for Hester.
Nice pressure by the Minnesota Vikings. 4-man rush right here. And Jay Cutler does a great job of going, seeing an opening, stepping up, getting away from all the pressure and looking downfield. I don't know if it was on the same wavelength as Devin Hester right there, but he had time to go and get it downfield.
Second and 10 from the Vikings 41. Cutler moving right, directing traffic, throws. It's Marshall again for a Bears first down, and Marshall is able to take it all the way inside the 20 to the Vikings 18-yard line. So a nice catch and a terrific second effort as Marshall gains 23, and there is a flag. 4 yards on this drive for Chicago than their first 3 possessions. Second down and 20 following the timeout. As Cutler is wrapped up, down he goes. Everson Griffin with his 5th sack of the season.
Now, one of the guys that Jared Allen talks to us about all the time, how athletic he is, doesn't really know how good he can be, and he'll wander around, he'll be up and down in a 2-point stance, kind of work through the formation. There he comes in a 3-point working against Roberto Garza, but he is a good pass rusher.
Does a nice job with the dance, too. Got a little rhythm to him.
First sack for the Vikings today. Now 3rd down and 24 as Cutler hits the tight end Davis. Tackled at the 45-yard line. So the Bears forced to punt.
Ponder and his receiving crew to make some plays downfield.
They start from the 13. It's Peterson. Well, for Adrian Peterson today, his 7th consecutive 100-yard game on the ground. Coming into play today, Peterson with 947 rushing yards over the last 6. That's more yards than Ponder has during that stretch in the air.
Yeah, you can see the struggles in the passing game with Christian Ponder's yardage total there at 871, and their leading receiver, Kyle Rudolph, just about 30 yards a game, 31 yards a game.
Vikings went 2-4 over that 6-game stretch. Lead today 14-0. On 2nd and 5, Ponder throws to the outside, and it's Wright. Darius Wright, rookie out of Arkansas, picks up 13 yards on a Vikings first down.
There's the play action we talked about, Darryl. You know, that whole defense was fighting on that run play, thinking that Adrian Peterson was getting the ball, and opens it up on the outside.
New set of downs for the Vikings from the 31-yard line. It's Peterson. Peterson gains 5 out to the 36. Now has 117 yards on the ground today.
But we hear people talk about the 8-man front and how that's supposed to stop the running game. When you have a running back like Adrian Peterson and a group that's functioning as well as Minnesota's offensive line and tight ends and fullback are in the running game, it doesn't matter. We've seen it. Tony talked about it. They've run it into a 9-man front, and they're having success. So they're going to stay with this and continue to pound Chicago's front with this run game.
125. We're good. 720.
2nd and 5, Peterson again. Out to the 39, setting up 3rd down and 2.
One thing I see is decisiveness today, Tony, whether it's Christian Ponder in the pocket throwing the ball, and then again, Adrian Peterson. I mean, they are making decisions and just going with it.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing more frustrating for a defense in the front 7 and the secondary. If you establish the run, then all of a sudden, you know, you got to stop the run. You're thinking you got to stop the run. Then all of a sudden, here comes the play action. You got to stop the pass. You're guessing out there, and that's one thing you don't want to do as a defense is guess.
We saw the left guard, Charlie Johnson. Hovland tried to come off the field, but was forced to stay out for this 3rd down play as Ponder lays it up beautifully for Wright, who has another Minnesota Vikings first down. Takes it to the Bears 45, a gain of 16.
This is a nice play design by offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave with Jarius Wright. You take your wide receiver, you motion him into the backfield. Here he is. Well, that's going to be a back coming out of the backfield. Guess who has him? Lance Briggs. You know, that's a nice little matchup that you've created just from formation and a little bit of motion into the backfield.
2nd catch for Wright today. Season high 7 receptions in the game in Chicago 2 weeks ago, as Ponder is nearly taken down by Briggs right after the snap. He fires downfield, and it's broken up. Pass was intended for the ex-Bear, Devin Aromashadu. Stelz is in for Major Wright at strong safety. He was hurt on the previous play. Peters into the 47.
You know, we talk about Adrian Peterson, Darryl, but, you know, standing here in the end zone and watching the plays develop, his offensive line is doing a tremendous job of staying on those guys up front, getting to the 2nd level, pushing, and Adrian and those guys are working hand in hand with Adrian setting up the blocks and his offensive lineman just riding them, and he's making great cuts.
Both Tillman and Wright have returned for the Bears on defense. 3rd down and 12. Vikings must get to the 35. Ponder hit as he throws. There is a flag as the catch was made by Toby Gerhart.
Holding, number 75, offense. That penalty declined. 4th down.
On the left tackle, Matt Khalil. Penalty declined. Vikings will punt.
He's going to be on the far side. Your tackle working against Julius Peppers.
Yeah, it looks like he grabbed his helmet there at the end of the play. Can't do that. Luckily, they didn't get called for a face mask.
Hester back deep. He has 4 career return touchdowns against the Vikings. Low snap, Cluey gets the kick away. Taken at the 15 by Hester. And Hester with a 17-yard return. Out to the 32. Possession for the 5th time this season. That leads the league. A Josh Robinson pick set up the 2nd Peterson score. Their start from their own 31. It's 4-10. Stage 2. Jasper Brinkley brought him down.
And they've got to be able to take advantage of this. Tony talked about, that push up inside and, maybe needing to get out on the edge. Take advantage of these big tight ends. They're not having the production in the passing game, but in the run game, Kellen Davids, Matt Spaeth, these are some big guys. Take advantage of these guys on the edge in the running game.
Second down and 8. Butler's pass is caught. Hester does a 360. And it extends for a Bears first down. Tried to go left and right, spun himself around and picks up a first.
Yeah, having a little fun with Antoine Winfield right there. Looks like he got dizzy. He had to get his bearings straight at the end of this thing, Kenny. Makes the catch, and then on the spin right here, it's like, whoa, hey.
Little twist.
Third catch for Hester. Leads the Bears today in receptions. From the 42 on first down. Penalty flags. As Cutler fires, it's off the hands of Jeffrey.
You're not going to get the flag.
First and 5 following the penalty off the fake to Forte. Cutler with time. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Marshall for a Bears first down at the Vikings 42. A 12-yard completion.
When you want to hold the ball a little bit longer, you need to move the pocket, and they do a good job. Devin Hester right there, number 23. He was your short guy. They picked him off coming across. So now Jay Cutler's got to adjust. He's on the outside. Now Brandon Marshall's got to ad-lib it a little bit, and they're able to get a completion right here. But, you need to compliment Brandon Marshall and Adrian Peterson both right now, because they're two guys that each defense knew they had to stop. And right now, neither defense can stop the biggest playmaker on the other team's offense.
From the Vikings 42. Cutler steps up. Hennessy throws. Ball is loose. And it is recovered by Jonathan Scott, the Bears right tackle.
That's a heads-up play by Jonathan Scott. That ball's on the ground. Get on it.
Watch Big 79. He's got to do it. It's his guy that gets the fumble caused.
Everyone's just standing around. They don't. That's a fumble.
And was not yet moving forward. And then a heads-up play by Scott, starting his 3rd straight game at right tackle with the recovery. There's gain yardage on the play. Now 2nd and 2, inside handoff to Forte. Not much.
Kevin Williams, man, he was in the backfield, I think, before the ball was handed off.
And
nice jump on the ball.
And we're right in that tough spot again with Robbie Gould having that strained left calf. You're on the cusp of whether you can go for the field goal or are you going to go for 4th down. It's the Bears got to convert here because you're going to force a real difficult decision if you don't get this first down.
Bears do not have to run a play as we approach the 2-minute warning. We saw Gould on the sidelines. Bobby Smith passed up a 53-yard attempt earlier. Cutler on 3rd down and 3. He throws, and it's Marshall again.
Triple coverage this time, Darryl.
Great hands. 4 receivers set with the tight end Davis split wide to the left. Cutler from the shotgun on first down. Cutler throws to the end zone. Touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey.
You talked about the 4 wide receiver set, Kenny. You had Trips to the left. You had Alshon Jeffrey to the right, all by himself. There he is at the top of the screen, working against Josh Robinson. The way he played that, I think he expected Harrison Smith to be there a lot sooner. Not real aggressive on that release.
Yeah, he tried to stun him on the line of scrimmage, never got his hands on him.
It's a completely different story. So Christian Ballard didn't get the yardage, but a great recovery.
And now Adrian Peterson takes it out to the 26, 3 yards for Peterson, adding to his first half numbers, now with 125 yards on the ground. Started things off with a 51-yard run on the first play from scrimmage. Scored 2 first-quarter touchdowns against the Bears team that had allowed only 28 points in the first quarter all season. Ponder able to get rid of it. It's Peterson. Charles Tillman goes for the strip, but unfortunately for Charles, Peterson was already out of bounds.
They're really getting and collapsing this pocket down. Julius Peppers coming from the top. That's the last couple of plays against Matt Khalil that he's gotten him just on pure speed. And again, nobody better in the business than getting that ball out.
Then a fumble forward, out of bounds.
Whoa. Tillman with 8 forced fumbles this season, which leads the league. So now 3rd down and 5. Under a minute to go. First half. Kobe Gerhardt up the middle on 3rd and 5. Gerhardt looks to have a Vikings first down. On 1st and 5, Ponder fires downfield, and it is picked off by Major Wright.
That is the throw that Christian Ponder has got to get out of his repertoire. And he talked about it last week when he was rolling to the right and he threw back across in the middle of the field. And again, this is on first down. And there's Chris Conti down. But here you go, watch. Middle of the field, a floater. And off his back foot on top. I mean, I don't know, your feet aren't set. You're just kind of lobbing it into the middle of the field. I mean, look at all the Bear defenders.
Why not just run out the clock at that point? Under 40 seconds remaining. Bears with only 1 timeout.
You can see why Chris Conti's still down, Kenny. That's a big collision right there at the point of the catch with Major Wright.
And remember, Wright left the game earlier. Conti suffered a concussion earlier this season. But now the Bears with 32 seconds remaining, only 1 timeout. Butler sets up the screen to Forte on first down. And Matt able to gain 8 out to the 28-yard line. Remember, the Bears will get the ball to start the second half as well. A late touchdown here in the second quarter. Cutler to Jeffrey.
And I'm sure this situation right here is being influenced by the injury to Robbie Gould, Kenny, because, you know, there's really not a sense of urgency right there in this 2-minute situation, because, you know, what are you going to do with your field goal kicker who probably is not going to be effective except for short distances? What do they do here with this opening possession? Because I really think it's time for them to step up and carry this team when their defense is missing some of its key guys.
They're start from the 14-yard line. Cutler hands it off to Forte. Jasper Brinkley wraps him up. Gain of 6. Out to the 20, Goose.
Talked to Leslie Frazier coming out, actually, and asked him about the second half. You know, Minnesota came out early, scored a couple touchdowns, but then a big lull there in the second quarter. Asked him what his plans were offensively for the second half, and he said, Goose, we're going to run the ball, and then when we think we ran the ball enough, we're going to keep running the ball. So, you know, and also he said if we get an opportunity to play action, but we're going to stick with the run, and obviously I think that's a good choice, Terrell.
Play action on 2nd and 3. As Cutler throws, and a good defensive play is made by Winfield as he got the handout in front of Marshall.
It looks like it's going to boil down to which defense can finally slow down and stop the biggest threat on the opposition's offense. And Antoine Winfield right here, a nice play on the ball in coverage against Brandon Marshall.
Marshall 5 catches, 94 yards in the first half. 3rd down and 3. Monster in motion. Two receivers to the right. Cutler on third down, hits Forte, and he picks up a first down. Out to the 27-yard line. So a new set of downs for Chicago on their opening drive here in the second half.
I like this play design. You had the trips to the right side on the offense, and then you motion Devin Hester across and balance that formation. You get the defense looking at all these different spots, and then you just slip Matt Forte out into the flat. He's wide open. They dropped him in coverage.
Now Davis motions to the left. From the 27 on first down, it's Forte. Stays on his feet, he spins. And has another Bears first down. Nice run by Forte as he picks up 10.
You know, looking here from the end zone, look at the splits. You can see right here how tight it is and how big it is right here. They're trying to get them defensive linemen to move a little bit, okay, and open up the gaps a little bit for Matt Forte. He decides to bounce it to the outside, but you know, if you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker and you see those kinds of splits, you got to challenge that. There's no way an offensive lineman can go and cover up a split that's that big.
Cutler on first down to a wide open Marshall. He makes himself look wide open, even with a couple of defenders in the vicinity. Marshall picks up 16 into Vikings territory.
I don't think that Antoine Winfield can believe that Jay Cutler got this ball over the top of him. He has him right there in coverage. Now as he's drifting back, I mean, look at the touch right there. I mean, that had to go just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Antoine Winfield.
So Marshall goes over 100 yards for the 7th time this season. That ties a franchise record. Cutler's got his way 6 times today, 97 times this season. Forte. Brinkley again, he's had an active game with his Vikings defense. As Forte takes it to the 46-yard line. Shaping up to be another big day for Brandon Marshall.
12 catches last time these two teams played a couple of weeks ago. A lot more yardage today, though. He's making some of those big splash plays on the outside.
Second down at 9 for Cutler and the Bears. Underneath to Forte, and again it's Brinkley. Gain of just a yard.
He has played well in both phases of the defense. You know, against the run, we saw it on the last play. Here he is in pass coverage. Number 54 right in the center of your screen. He's got Matt Forte. Just kind of eye him up, get right behind him, put yourself in a good position to make that tackle if it's dumped down.
He had 7 tackles in the first half, already 3 on this drive. Third down at 8. Bears must get to the 37. Cutler fires downfield. Too far for Jefferson on the coverage, no flags.
Really letting them play on the outside.
Got one of the officials. Then they'll move outdoors for 2 years. Stadium expected to open on this site in 2016. As Adrian Peterson gains 4 yards out to the 15. Peterson with a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter on each of the first 2 Minnesota drives.
Yeah, but you know what? This is committing to the run, and you can see a slowdown in production, but still, you know, I'm a firm believer that you can't say, hey, if you just take that 51-yard run out that he had on the first play of the game, then we're okay. No, that's not how this guy functions. You know, we showed you how he's gotten better and better from month to month. He'll do that during the course of the game, too. You better be careful. You heard Tony mention that Leslie Frazier said we're going to run it and then run some more.
Ponder throws on 2nd and 6. There is a flag. Pass was intended for the tight end, John Carlson. Flag is thrown to the secondary. Against the 11-1 Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the reasons why we're not ready to automatically assume that the Atlanta Falcons at 11-1 are the most dangerous team in the NFC.
Falcons suffered their only loss at the hands of the Saints Big game next week, Falcons and Giants. Falcons 11-1, Houston Texans 11-1. Both have clinched playoff berths, as have the Broncos and the Patriots. Both these teams still on the hunt as Peterson takes it up the middle. Bears tied for the division lead. Vikings in a logjam at 6-6.
Slower than the rest of the line anticipated.
So now 3rd down and 11 following the penalty. Vikings must get to the 30. Ponder under pressure. And the Vikings once again forced to punt.
They're bringing people into the face of Christian Ponder. This is coming from the defensive left side. You look at everybody at the top of your screen right there.
Yeah,
Corey Wooten comes free, and
Brandon Marshall in motion. On 1st down, the handoff to Forte. Gains a couple out to the 37-yard line. Jared Allen, the tackle.
Let's see if this Bears offense can get this running game going. Take a look at Matt Forte today, right at 4 yards a carry.
Bears with a late touchdown in the 2nd quarter as Jared Allen gets the fans revved up here in Minneapolis. On 2nd down, Cutler looking for the tight end, Kellen Davis.
That's a good decision because everything was short. Everybody jumped the short routes, and you slip that tight end down the seam.
Not even the 6'7" Davis could make the play on that one. Hands on their feet, 3rd down and 9. Bears must get to the 45 as Cutler throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Marshall. It was A.J. Jefferson on the coverage. He got a piece of it.
If you've never been, I highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Vikings start from their 20-yard line, leading by a touchdown. Off the play fake, Ponder. Peterson, 1st down.
Now, when you go to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, there is one person that is missing. If the Hall of Fame is about the best player at your position, why is not that guy in the Hall of Fame? I think if you ask everybody who is the greatest punter in the history of the NFL, it would be Ray Guy. I agree with Chris Kluwe.
Kluwe, the Vikings punter, big supporter of Ray Guy. Had an article published recently written by Kluwe in support of Guy. How about Lance Briggs? You talk about the Hall of Fame. He might be there after his career is done.
Yeah, there's a couple guys on this defense that got excellent chances of being in the Hall of Fame. And here's, you play it and you come through, you shoot your gap, but that's only half the job. You know, you've got to get Adrian Peterson to the ground, and Lance Briggs continues to work.
Yeah, he eventually gets it done, and he ain't going down very easily, though.
Takes down another future Hall of Famer. 9 tackles for Briggs today in the absence of Urlacher. On 2nd and 16, Peterson going nowhere. Israel Adonijah brings him down.
They can't do this, Tony. They can't become a one-dimensional team. You know, that's what you guys try to do as a defense, is force an offense to be one-dimensional. You know, Minnesota's doing it by choice right now, and Chicago's defense is too good.
Yeah, what they're doing right now as a defensive line is they're penetrating. See Israel Adonijah right there, going and getting, not letting Adrian Peterson sit in the backfield and cut and find the hole. When you penetrate, he has to establish himself now.
Short pass on 3rd down and 17. And the Vikings once again will punt it away following the reception by Jenkins. So another terrific series for the Bears defensively after allowing the 2 early touchdowns. Call *NFL to download NFL Mobile now and get coverage of every NFL game. Well, since the Vikings scored their second touchdown on their second possession, they have crossed midfield just once.
The offense, it's not going to take Chicago long to figure out what their issues were early on, and they seem to have gotten those resolved, and it's been tough to get that running game going.
Willie wearing the full late guy patch, punting it away. Here's Hester. And Hester takes it out to the 30 with just under 5 minutes remaining. Something out of nothing. Cutler gained 6. Out to the 37 after it looked like he would potentially get sacked.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, he takes a negative play and gets some positive yards out of it, and he's going to end up with Christian Ballard right in his face right here. Makes a little inside move there.
Yeah, he does an amazing job of getting out of it. That pocket just collapsed around him, and there was nowhere for him to go. And he just did a great job of going and finding a little crease get to the outside.
Good escapability. Yeah. I think he's underrated as a quarterback in the pocket that can escape.
Armando Allen in the backfield for the first time on 2nd and 4 as Cutler handed off to Allen, the 3rd string running back. And he's down about 1.5 yards shy of the marker. Forte.
3rd and 1, and Matt Forte's not in, Darryl.
Yeah, interesting decision. Or Michael Bush.
Yeah.
Michael Bush has been their short yardage goal line guy.
Bears stick with Allen. 3rd and a long 1. Cutler sets up in the shotgun. Marshall in the slot now in motion to the left. Cutler on 3rd down. Picked off by Harrison Smith. It was intended for Marshall, and it's Smith, the rookie out of Notre Dame, down the sidelines, and he takes it all the way for a Vikings touchdown.
Well, Brandon Marshall goes in motion, so they're able to trail him as he goes across. And now we're going to have the pressure come into Jay Cutler's face. Kind of stands there flat-footed. It sails on him a little bit, but again, here you go. You've got one guy we've been throwing to all afternoon. When that sails, look at all the Minnesota Viking players that are around that ball.
They do a great job of just turning, getting on somebody. Smith does a nice job of following his blocks also way down here at the end of the run. Look at those guys right in front of him, huh?
Green Bay Packers host Detroit tonight. They have a big interest in this game. Packers and Bears, both with 8-4 records. Bears behind 21-7 as Forte takes it across the 45, and there's a late flag after Forte was forced out of bounds. 36 yards and a flag at the end of the play.
This is nice blocking across the board.
Personal foul, 69, defense, hitting the runner out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch Jared Allen. He gets called for the late hit out of bounds. Remember Allen with the hit. Very controversial block on Lance Lewis 2 weeks ago at Soldier Field, knocking Lewis out for the season.
I don't know. It looked like Matt Forte was still in bounds when Jared Allen hit him. I don't think that was a penalty. I mean, he just got beat outside by a running back.
Yeah, and he's usually very, very good in his angles with support.
1st and 15 from the Vikings 39. It's Forte. Another flag. So we've had penalty markers thrown now on 3 consecutive plays. And it looks like this, once again,
holding
is against Chicago.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on James Brown, who's back in at left guard. So 2 consecutive penalties puts the Bears right back where they started prior to the penalty call on Jared Allen. 15-yard personal foul. Bears then lose 5 and 10 more.
Yeah, I think that Mike Tice has to get onto that sheet and find those perimeter runs. I mean, that's the area that they've had some success today. Not just that long run that we just had with Matt Forte, but at other times during the game, it's been on the edges. They've struggled to run between the tackles.
Forte in the backfield, 3 receiver set. First down and 25. They set up the screen to Davis. And Davis, with a couple of nice moves, finally tackled just inside the 40. So Kellen Davis able to gain 10 on his second reception today.
And when you have an aggressive defense that likes to pursue to the ball, and both of these defenses are that style, the double screen is a nice play. Because when you see those linemen leave and you see that screen element move, you'll automatically start to chase in pursuit. And then when you've got the backside set up the exact same way, it puts so much pressure on that defense.
You know, you see all the players, we're just showing them on the screen, and every one of them is looking up at the board, you know, to see what happened on that play and get information as much as you can about what they need to do. After every play, that defensive guy's always looking up at the board.
Butler with time on 2nd and 15. Directing traffic. Now he fires downfield for Jeffrey, and he's unable to make the catch.
Both of the receivers for the Bears, whether it's Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall, they do a great job of finding the ball. And one of the things that's happened with Minnesota is they're losing track of it. This is an ad-lib play. You know, we've got pressure. Jay Cutler's moving around. Mistrail Raymond, he loses sight of the ball, and Alshon Jeffrey has it all the way. I mean, you're very lucky that that doesn't end up being a touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey should have made that catch.
Got his eyes on it right there. Hits him right in the hands. Got to make that play. You're absolutely right, Bush.
On 3rd and 15, Cutler looks to step away from pressure, then throws it away. Harrison Smith on the blitz.
I'm telling you, this kid is going to be a very good player.
Yep.
He's going to have a nice career here. He's good in every element of the game that a safety needs to be. He's a good blitzer. He's a good run supporter. We saw him with the run after the catch on the interception.
Here he comes scot-free off the left-hand side. You know, sort of gets juked a little bit, but gets a handout, gets a piece of jersey, and doesn't let go, and affects the throw of Jay Cutler.
Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. Podlish punting from midfield. Sherrills lets it go.
Oh, well done.
Kept out of the end zone by the former Viking, Zach Bowman. Down inside the 2 by Eric Weems. Terrific job by the Bears on special teams.
Heads up right here. Nice job of going up, making sure your feet aren't in the end zone, knowing that somebody else is going to be out there, tossing it outside, establishing the ball out there.
Ponder and the Vikings start from their own 1-yard line. The handoff to Peterson, fights his way out of the end zone and gives Minnesota a little breathing room as Peterson takes it out to the 5 with 35 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter.
It's amazing. You get Adrian Peterson stopped 1 yard in the end zone, and you let him out. You know, you got to pursue to the ball a little bit better. You got to come through there and get him wrapped up. I know it's not easy, but you got to keep him pinned back.
Vikings must run a play, 1 second differential between the game clock and the play clock. On 2nd and 6 is Peterson. Nothing on that run. A 14-point lead. Now 3rd down and 7 for Minnesota. Ponder from his end zone throws, and the pass is caught for a first down by Michael Jenkins.
They've got to be able to be complementary in the pass game, and you just can't come out at the NFL level and be one-dimensional and just expect to beat the Bears defense just running the football. Christian Ponder and this group of receivers and tight ends have to be able to make plays in the passing game.
Adrian Peterson out, Toby Gerhart in. On first down, this is Gerhart. Flag at the end of the play. After Gerhart gained 6.
You You'll see him come in on the left right here. Now, Toby Gerhart was not down on the ground, but they did blow the whistle. So when the whistle blows, the ball is dead. The play stops, but Tillman kept going and got the flag.
Peterson back in the game. Looked like the medical staff of the Vikings were checking out his neck area. Ponder was under pressure from Matt Toina, and his pass incomplete off to the right side. 2nd and 10. Coming up for the Vikings, who lead by 2 touchdowns, and the 3 other teams that came into play today at 6-6 in the NFC are all losing. Redskins trailing the Ravens by 1. Bengals lead the Cowboys by 9, and it's the Eagles 10-7 over the Bucs. So a huge opportunity today for these Vikings, with the other 3 500 teams all losing at the moment.
No, they've lost control of their own destiny. They're going to need some help, and they're getting some of that help today.
On 2nd and 10, it's Peterson. And Peterson takes it out across the 40 and dives forward for Vikings first down.
Those are some of the hidden things with Adrian Peterson. I mean, this looks like it's going to be like a 9-yard run. And watch the end of it. I mean, he's always surging forward. He's always pressing forward. You would think that Chicago, hey, we got him. It's a 9-yard run. But watch right here, just that little bit. I mean, that's an extra 2.5, 3 yards. Moves the chains, keeps you out of those. Yeah, 3rd and 1 is not a tough down or not an easy down in the NFL.
Goes and posts his hand down and gets some extra yard.
Peterson now with 144 yards on the ground. He went over 100 in the first quarter. Here's Peterson up the middle, breaks free.
How did he get through that, Moose? I couldn't see it from down here in the end zone, but I thought he was stopped for no gain. All of a sudden, he just pops right through.
There's a lot of them. You know, you don't see a whole lot there, but all of a sudden, it's a 6-yard gain.
Look at the pile of people right here. He just finds a little crease and just keeps moving.
Now at 149, averaging 5.5 per carry.
Look at that, 101 of them after contact.
On 2nd and 5, play action. Rodgers' pass is caught by the tight end, Rhett Ellison. But he's tackled back at the 45, loses 2 yards.
That's a good play. Actually, Israel Adonijah is the one who gets it all started.
Darrell and I may need to tag along.
No problem.
Throw down at 6. Vikings must get to the Bears. 48. And they do. What a catch.
What a throw on the pressure, too, by Christian Ponder.
Ponder hitting Jenkins for a Vikings first down.
I agree with the catch there, right there. A nice high ball, goes up strong, makes it at the highest point. There's that pressure you were talking about, Tony. He's got 2-3 Chicago Bears right in his face.
Yeah, no, Scott free, hands up, and he got that ball over them right to Jenkins.
4th catch of the game for Jenkins. This is the Vikings' deepest penetration since their 2nd drive of the game. 10th play of this drive for the Vikings as Ponder hands it off to Peterson, and he is taken down for a loss by Nick Roach, who's in for Brian Urlacher.
They got so many guys defensively on the line of scrimmage to stop that run. It's making it very difficult to block everyone up there, and hard for Adrian Peterson. You see how he's getting stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That this is an opportunity. If they're going to go and commit to stopping the run, they got to put it in the air a little bit. These receivers got to start making some plays.
Loss of 3 on a tackle by Roach, who moved over to the middle. 2nd down and 13. Play action. Ponder working for the tight end, Kyle Rudolph, and Ponder took a hit. There is a flag. But check that, no flag was thrown.
No flag it either. Not back in the pocket or downfield where Kyle Rudolph is. I thought that there was some things going on down where Kyle Rudolph was. Good job by Nick Roach just not slamming the quarterback to the ground.
Rudolph without a catch today. He's been one of Ponder's favorite targets this season, 2nd on the team in receptions, but nothing today for Rudolph. Now 3rd down and 13. This is Gerhardt as the Vikings keep it on the ground.
I think Toby Gerhardt on that one, Moose, missed the cutback. He had a puller coming across the formation and just stayed outside. I think he would have had an opportunity to make that 1st down.
So the Vikings, who've been outgained by 50 yards, have a 2-touchdown lead. Remember, they started this drive back at their own 1, so they gained 58 yards, but are setting up to punt.
Yeah, but they flip field position, Kenny, and it's a 2-possession game right now. And that's a nice job by this offense. We'll see how they do the execution here with the punt team.
And they also took 6 minutes off the clock. Hester lets it go. And another terrific play on special teams, this time by the Vikings, Jamarcus Sanford.
Now that's really nice complimentary football. You're talking about starting your drive inside the 1-yard line. Get that drive going, convert your punt team. Now you force your opposition inside the 5.
Vikings lead the Bears 21-7. Chicago will start from their own 5-yard line, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Cutler throwing from the end zone, complete to Davis. Hard man. And Davis will be marked down at the 9. Actually lost a yard after he made the catch.
Now that's a big man right there, Darryl, with some pretty good feet. Look at his balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Finally got him down.
Davis gains 4, heads to the sidelines. 2nd down and 6. Cutler escapes. Now throws. Oh, it's nearly picked off by Sanford. Intended for Marshall. Looked like Marshall got a hand on it, as did Jamarcus Sanford.
Now, I want you to watch the difference. We've seen Christian Ponder in the pocket. Here's a difference between Christian Ponder and Jay Cutler. Look at the poise in the pocket. I mean, everything's going on around him. It's collapsing. He just kind of moves, slides, shifts, steps forward, gets away with the fact that he almost threw a pick. But his poise in the pocket, I mean, he just never seems rattled back there as everything's falling apart.
4th down and 6. Bears must get to the 15 for a 1st down. As Cutler fires downfield, and Jeffrey able to make the catch with Robinson all over him. Alshon Jeffrey picks up a Bears 1st down, a 30-yard pass play.
Doesn't matter how good a position you're in. These underthrown deep balls just wreak havoc with cornerbacks. And the big body of Alshon Jeffrey's got his hand up there. Yeah, you can see Josh Robinson coming up wanting a call there. This is a big guy. He's 6'3", 220. And you've got 2 big physical wide receivers on the outside for the Chicago Bears.
From the 39 on 1st down. Cutler over the middle, off the hands of Davis.
Now, we've seen that too many times this season. There's opportunities for the tight ends in this offense to make these big plays down the seam, and they just haven't been able to complete it.
Huge target downfield, man. Jay Cutler puts his ball in a spot where he should be able to catch it. See what Jay was thinking.
Yeah.
Not too happy.
Now 2nd and 10, midway through the 4th quarter. Cutler moving to his right. There is a flag. As Cutler was hit, ball came loose.
I have not heard a whistle. Did you hear a whistle, Tony? Not to the end,
nothing
right?
down here.
Got him.
Allen low, Griffin high.
Jared Allen gets the leg. You'll see it right here. Low and Marshall, what a catch. was unbelievable right there. If you're A.J. Jefferson, man, I don't know what more you could do. Watch him here on the outside. Does a nice job of getting into him a little bit. He's right on it. The one thing he doesn't do, Darryl, and we talk about it all the time, is get his head back around to identify when that ball's coming. What a great catch by Brandon Marshall.
The big thing was hard. His hands came up so late. You know, it's one of the tricks for the cornerbacks is when those hands start to go up, you turn your head around. But Brandon Marshall was so late with his hands that he had no chance.
Butler's pass was deflected. Second and 10 coming up with under 7 minutes remaining.
Getting your hands up. The defensive line does a nice job. Tip ball.
Kevin Williams, the 6-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he can. That right there frustrates a quarterback. Can't get that pass rush. Just get your hands up and try to affect the play, and that's exactly what Kevin did.
Second and 10 from the 39. Off the fake to 4-10. Butler fires over the middle, and the pass actually hits Jasper Brinkley. Butler was looking for the tight end, Kyle Adams.
Well, if you can't get your head around, Dow, use your body, right?
There's Matt Spaeth there. He's going to be in protection to make sure that that side is clean with Brian Robinson. And again, you're trying to get your tight end down the middle of the field, but that's that cover two where that linebacker is carrying that route down the field.
Empty backfield, third down and 10. Butler steps up, and then a shovel pass to Marshall. Marshall down at the 31. About 2 yards shy of a first. So the Bears, trailing by 2 touchdowns, will leave the offense out on the field on fourth down.
Not the way you draw it up. Those two have developed such great chemistry in their first season together here in Chicago.
99th reception for Marshall. So now fourth down and 3 for Chicago. Bears must get to the 29, and they do. It's Marshall. That's his 100th catch. It ties a franchise record, but more importantly, it extends this drive.
How do you stop him, Darryl? Can you please tell me?
He's so good with his body position, Tony. And then, I mean, how many guys have we talked to that have talked about the strength he has with his hands at the point of the catch? And this is the second time we've seen a game where he's been covered very, very well the majority of the game, and yet appears to be unstoppable.
Does a great job with his body, just leaning on guys. Everybody knows the ball is going to him, and you just can't stop him.
New set of downs for Chicago. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Jeffrey hit hard on the tackle by Josh Robinson. So Brandon Marshall now with 100 receptions this season. It ties the franchise record. Marty Booker with 100 receptions back in 2001.
254.
The 11th play of the drive for the Bears. On second and 6, pass broken up by Whitfield, intended for Hester.
And that's one of the opportunities that Devin Hester will have working out of that slot. Those quick slants, get it into his hands as quick as you can and let him use those skills that we've seen as a returner in the open field.
Third down and 6. Butler throws, and Hester unable to make the catch. What an opportunity.
You called it, Dow. That is an opportunity. He was wide open. He catches that ball. He's in the end zone right now.
And again, it's some of the the smaller details about why he's struggled a little bit on the outside as a wide receiver. You know, just finish that catch. You know, eyes coming up just a little bit too soon. You see the frustration on his face.
4th down and 6. Bears must get to the 17 as Marshall could not make the catch. Vikings will take over on downs. It's Adrian Peterson on 1st down. As we head to Los Angeles, Kurt Menefee.
I mean, those are two teams that, you know, a couple weeks ago we were watching out for. Those are the hot teams right there, and they had some tough goes of it lately. The Giants still lead in the NFC East, but that lead is shrinking.
Peterson out to the 29. Conti the tackle. Adrian Peterson with 2 first-quarter touchdowns.
He is so critical to this team's success.
Here's Peterson bottled up on 3rd down, so the Bears will get the ball back. Jason Campbell takes over for Jay Cutler, who took some hard hits on that last drive. So Campbell, the former Redskin and Raider, in at quarterback for the Bears, and he finds Matt Forte out at the 26-yard line.
And I think this is a good decision right here by Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler has been roughed up all afternoon long. You're down 2 scorers right here. We know how important it is to have Jay Cutler in the lineup for the Chicago Bears if they're going to be successful. You cannot fool around with his health moving down the stretch here this season.
2nd down and 9. Campbell complete to Hester. Remember, Cutler suffered the concussion in the game November 11th against Houston, sat out the San Francisco game following Monday, and then returned for the Vikings game 2 weeks ago today. Campbell, 71 career starts. Started the 1 game this season out in San Francisco. 3rd down and 3. Pass intended for Hester. There is a flag. Josh Robinson.
Raining flags down here.
Getting worked on after that series was over.
From the 40. Campbell moving to his left. Crossing the line of scrimmage, heading for the sidelines, picks up 7. Tampa Bay, Darrell, has taken a 21-10 lead over Philadelphia late 4th quarter. So the Buccaneers with a victory would go to 7-6. Dallas has pulled to within 2 in Cincinnati. There's Cutler on the sidelines. Bears loss would drop Chicago to 8-5. Green Bay with the 8-4 record host the Lions later tonight. And Baltimore has taken an 8-point lead on Washington late 4th quarter. 2nd down and 2. Empty backfield. Campbell from the shotgun. Campbell complete to Forte for the Vikings 34-yard line. 18-yard pass play. And Jefferson shaken up. Well, Coleman winds the play clock. Here we go. On 1st down, Campbell chased by Griffin. He throws to the far side to the tight end, Kyle Adams. And Adams able to gain 9 down to the 25.
Jason Campbell has got to be aware of what's been going on this afternoon. He's got Brandon Marshall matched up against Marcus Sherrills on the outside right now, who's come in for A.J. Jefferson. Might want to take a look to his side on this play.
Campbell absolutely completed all 4 of his pass attempts on this drive. Bears out of timeouts. They do have the 2-minute warning. On 2nd and 1, Campbell escapes and then throws it away.
Watching Brandon Marshall, who's trying to give Campbell a little bit of a signal to go and throw it outside. He was man-to-man on the outside, but the pressure got to Campbell. Obviously, couldn't get the ball to him.
Campbell, first-round pick of the Redskins back in 05. Pick right after the Packers chose Aaron Rodgers. Campbell went next to Washington. 3rd down and 1. 2:15 remaining. receiver set. Hester in the slot. Campbell looking his way. Hester makes the catch. He's inside the 15 and shoved out of bounds at the 11. So Hester picks up a first down, 14-yard pass play with 2:08 on the clock. You're out of timeouts as well. First down at 15 as the Bears lose 5 yards on the delay. As Campbell swings it out looking for Forte, and Campbell took a hit from Jared Allen. 2:03 remaining, so time for one more play, then the 2-minute warning.
Jared Allen still bringing it after everybody, I think, on that offensive side has either chipped him, cut him, or some way tried to affect his pass rush. But his motor is still moving.
Well, I mean, on that play, you got your wide receiver chipping him. You've got your offensive guard and tackle turning to him, and he still hits your quarterback.
On second and 15. Campbell under pressure. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Adams, but he's unable to hang on. And there is a flag, as you see at the 6-yard line. Bengals with a 2-point lead, 19-17 over Dallas.
Brandon Marshall being covered by rookie Josh Robinson.
And it's Marshall in the end zone, Goose, who makes the catch for the Bears touchdown.
And you got to see that. Let's see if he's got to get over the top with a little help.
It's the one we've seen the whole time. They're at the top of the screen, and watch, it's going to be a little bit underthrown. So as Josh Robinson's working back, and then Brandon Marshall, big physical guy, gets that arm up. You know, you could have had an offensive pass interference there.
Yeah, but that's not how they've been calling it all day.
No, they've really let him play on the outside. And that's the thing, when you get into that play, as long as they're consistent with how they're calling it.
So now it is Robbie Gould. He's 0 for 7 in his career on onside kicks. And he's attempting it with the left calf strain, and it comes down right into the arms of Kyle Rudolph. And the Saints will take on the Giants, so it gets even more interesting in the NFC with 3 weeks remaining as Leslie Frazier defeats his former team, the Chicago Bears, for the first time after losing his first 4 win for Jared Allen and the Vikings as they go to 7-6, 6-1 here at home, and the Bears drop to 8-5. Bears will host the Packers in another huge game next week, while the Vikings will travel to St. Louis. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, this is Kenny Albert. So long from Minneapolis.